Hello Internet, this is That Kiwi Gamer and welcome to Star Conflict, a space battle simulator? Fighter? Either. Getting right into the meat and bones of the game, you are a starship... Pilot? Captain? I suppose it kind of depends. There is nothing that indicates that these things are crewed by anything other than a simple pilot. However, that's all fluff and nonsense that I suppose no one really is interested in, unless perhaps you are interested in it, in which case, good for you. At any rate, there are currently several modes to the gameplay. There is your standard PvP, which is basically 5 to 10 people versus 5 to 10 other people, with, of course, various game modes with various objectives. Imagine Battlefield or Call of Duty in space. Yes, it is about that bad. Then you have PvE, where you face off against waves of enemies with a team of you and 3 other people. Co-op is much like PvP, except instead of playing against other players, you're matched against AI opponents. This means, for those of you that are not good at PvP, can still play effectively both game modes that are in the game. After you've managed to grind your way up to rank 10 and start getting your spaceships, you can start entering things like tournament, special ops that show up every couple of hours, and I don't know what this is, but I believe it is some sort of ranked tournament kind of gameplay. It was rather recently introduced, at least as far as I know. I have not played this game in quite a while. There have been significant updates. You have effectively 3 classes of ships with a subtype of ship. You have frigates, fighters, and interceptors, of which there are, I believe, 3 subtypes. Each of the 3 factions gets 2 of these subtypes. You've got missions that you can complete in order to gain resources, to level up or upgrade your equipment. You also gain materials in which you can manufacture new ships, of which they recently included destroyer class ships that come in about rank 8 or so. They then upgrade at rank 11, and then coming soon, supposedly, is our endgame rank 14. I haven't been able to manufacture my own destroyer yet, as I do not play enough of this game, nor do I sink enough money into it in order to do so. Which, fair warning to all of you out there, this game asks for a fair amount of time and or also a fair amount of money. Yes, it is relatively greedy of them. But, that being said, if you enjoy the game enough, it is indeed worth the investment. To kick off, I think we'll show you some gameplay through the calm, peaceful scenarios that is PvE. Matchmaking can take a fair while, as I believe the majority of the player base is in fact Russian. I could be completely wrong on that, but then again, I could be entirely right.
Mercenaries, the enemy is on the way. Repel the attack and get your reward. Come on.
Every ship has its own subclass, which is generally one of 3, which give it a special module or ability that you can use in battle. Each of these modules does a different thing per ship, or I should say ship type
Soldiers. The
per
enemy is
subclass.
preparing another offensive. Prepare for action.
You've got your standard main weapon, and then you've also got missiles as a subtype. A secondary weapon of various degrees, which usually comes in the form of torpedoes or missiles. Unfortunately, in PvE, if you are unfortunate enough to get destroyed, you have to make sure you have manufactured units that allow you to reconstruct your ship. Otherwise, you've got one life, so don't die. The trouble is, it is quite easy to do so, as I have just demonstrated. You also have special modules which allow you to do various things, as I can use my flares to get rid of missiles. I can then get an engine boost, and I can get critical strike to blast more enemies with. These are the modules that I've got installed. There are also 3 different weapon types that you can install on each ship. Plasma, laser, and kinetic, which is basically bullets and stuff. Again, per different class of ship, these weapon types will behave differently or have different types of weapons available to them. The amount of selection of weapons that you've got has increased greatly, and the dynamics for how these weapons work also has improved immensely as the game has been developed. This game is a lot more fun to play now than it was in its early release when it first came out. Now, as I mentioned, the game likes to take your money. It does so generally in which of a premium subscription or via buying credits to bike premium time. You'll notice that if you have the duplicators that allow you to reconstruct yourself, you can then also revive allies, a very nifty trait, and I'm very glad it was introduced into the game, as it makes PvE a lot easier for everyone involved. Now, if only I can see where I'm getting shot at from. Oh, over there. Snipers. And that is that wave cleared. I don't know if we're going to clear this PvE mission, but you can start getting an idea on how the basic thing works. You shoot missiles, you shoot lasers, you have afterburners.
Warning, shields down.
3D, I have to admit, on a side note, that the 3D engine in this game is not magnificent, but it gives a great feel of space flight to a degree. It feels very authentic as ship-to-ship combat, even if the control of following where your mouse points is still a little bit wonky. I don't know if there's much we can do about that, but it has improved over time. Interceptors used to be just unreliable due to them going at such high speeds, and then they were going to where your cursor was 3 seconds ago due to the rather horrible lag that you would have.
All systems go. The enemy flagship is approaching.
If anything, overall the game is really good. The only real problems that I have with it is the amount of investment that it asks of you. The game modes, PvP especially, is quite well balanced, save for unless someone's about to jump on you in research, which a lot of people will. They'll be maxed out in epic purple upgraded modules. You're just starting at the bottom of the tier. And basically, they look at you, they shoot at you, and you die. And there's not much you can do about it. That being said, the 3 different ship types work in a very rock, paper, scissors kind of manner, and work to counter each other very well, so skill can still help save you, even if you are technically outclassed. The only real downsides to this game that I find is the investment not only in time, but in resources, and the rather grifty way that it kind of tries to say, if you want to speed this up, give us money and we speed this up. Which, I mean, you know, it is nice to have the option. It isn't pay to win by any means. However, there is a distinct amount of pressure You want to build your destroyer? That's a big time investment for grinding through materials, of which you get more of if you subscribe or buy premium time.
Link lost.
I haven't got my destroyer yet, and this is after a good couple of weeks of playing with a fair amount of time. That should give you some idea of the grind involved. The gameplay over such time can get fairly repetitive. That being said, if you play Battlefield or Call of Duty enough, I'm pretty sure that gets relatively repetitive as well. So I would say it's a fair trade-off. Trade-off? Whatever you'd like to call it. And we blew up the big
Excellent
ship.
work, boys. Returning to base.
That took a few more respawns than I would have comfortably liked. So you gather resources known as, what's it, iridium. This is used in your destroyer construction. It's also used for your corporate guild research as well. Or did they scrap the research idea? I'm not sure. You get about 3 shots at getting some guaranteed iridium per day, most notably indicated by this purple dot here. You're significantly rewarded for your first wins of the day, and then anytime you kind of play after that feels kind of impotent, I guess you could say. That you're kind of clawing up by little bits and pieces. Oh, another great way they try and pressure you into the money sink of this is ship synergy. You can level your ships up, they get better. It costs credits to transfer all the excess synergy from your other ships. Which means if you favor a certain type of ship, and no doubt many of you will, you will start storing up a significant amount of extra synergy that you'll of course want to transfer to level up your weaker ships that you don't like so much and don't play so much because, well, you haven't leveled them up. Yes, it can be a bit of a grind cycle. In fact, it is quite a bit of a grind cycle. However, for the grind cycle that it is a very enjoyable game. So I suppose if that sounds like your cup of tea, then by all means the game is free, aside from its premium subscription and real-world currency, and if you can stomach it, then the time investment is quite rewarding after a while. If it's just something you want to play maybe 1 or 2 matches a day on, and you want to get somewhere relatively quickly, it's relatively tough cookies for you. That being said, the game is free, so of course giving it a try can't hurt. At least, do give it a try if you sound like you're into this sort of thing. I have been That Kiwi Gamer, and for now, until next time,